When you're a Star Trek icon or a Teen Wolf star, it becomes nearly impossible to outdo yourself. It's sort of like climbing to the summit of Mount Everest, right? It's like, where do you go from there? But as it turns out, Star Trek legend George Takei and Teen Wolf star Arden Cho are now part of a project that might end up being the summit of their Hollywood careers. So stay tuned and don't go away, because Takei and Cho are joining the cast of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender series. First up, are you ready for Netflix's live-action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender? Let's find out. Star Trek legend George Takei and Teen Wolf star Arden Cho aren't the only stars joining the cast of Avatar: The Last Airbender. The star of Prey, Amber Midthunder, will play a role in the highly anticipated Netflix series as well. Netflix posted the names of additional cast members on Twitter, and we can confirm that you'll also see Momona Tamada, Talia Tran, Utkarsh Ambudkar, Danny Pudi, and James C. Cho will play the character June, Takei will take on the role of Ko, and Prey star Amber Midthunder will play Princess Yue. Back in 2021, reports surfaced that 4 of the major roles in the series had been cast. The first was Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings star Dallas Liu as Zuko, 13 Reasons Why star Ian Ousley in the role of Sokka, Gordon Cormier as Aang, and Kiawentiio as Katara. 1 year earlier, in 2020, the creators of the animated series, Michael Dante DiMartino and Bryan Konietzko, quit the live-action remake over creative differences and released separate statements to set the record straight on what had transpired. Dante DiMartino's statement read, "I realized I couldn't control the creative direction of the series, but I could control how I responded, so I chose to leave the project. It was the hardest professional decision I've ever had to make, and certainly not one that I took lightly, but it was necessary for my happiness and creative integrity." Bryan Konietzko said simply, "To be clear, this was not a simple matter of us not getting our way. Mike and I are collaborative people. We did not need all the ideas to come from us. As long as we felt those ideas were in line with the spirit and integrity of Avatar, we would have happily embraced them." Avatar: The Last Airbender is slated to drop on Netflix sometime in 2023. Next up, what are the top 10 TV shows on Netflix in the US for October 2022? You're about to find out. Coming in at number 10 is Conversations with a Killer, The Jeffrey Dahmer Tapes. The 3-episode docuseries is directed by Joel Berlinger, who brought us Brothers Keeper and Paradise Lost. It is the second time Netflix tackles the subject of America's most infamous cannibal, necrophiliac, and serial killer. Netflix is convinced that taking such a deep dive into Dahmer will lead to a better understanding of his psychology and motivations, ultimately teaching viewers about the warning signs. Or maybe Netflix is simply trying to cash in on Dahmer's unspeakable crimes because they know America is obsessed with serial killer content. Whatever the reasons, Netflix Conversations with a Killer, The Jeffrey Dahmer Tapes, bounces back and forth between a character study, social commentary, and pure shock value. What makes this series so chilling is the audio recordings of Dahmer's interviews with his attorney, Wendy Patricus. It gives viewers unfettered access to first-hand accounts of Dahmer's crimes. Patricus even compares her situation to the film The Silence of the Lambs and Clarice Starling's encounters with Hannibal Lecter. But unlike Dr. Lecter, who is sophisticated, Dahmer is monotone, straightforward, and obviously a simple man. In 9th place is a new Netflix series that might not pair well with the last series we discussed. It's called Easy Bake Battle, the home cooking competition. Unlike most other episodic cooking shows where each round has a new winner, this show sees the winner from the first episode move on to battle it out against 2 new cooks in the next episode for a chance to win the cash prize if they win that episode too. For each episode, the winner will receive $25,000. If they get eliminated and another cook wins the episode, they will move on as the reigning champ. Contestants have a chance to win $100,000 overall. Up next, what do you get when you've got a bunch of competitive Brits in the same kitchen? You get the Great British Baking Show. Coming in at number 8 is the Great British Baking Show. The series follows a talented group of amateur bakers who face off in a 10-week competition, whipping up their best dishes in the hopes of being named the UK's best baker. Recently, viewers of the Great British Baking Show were left shocked when they tuned into an episode only to see fan-favorite baker Janusz using crickets as an ingredient for his showstopper in the episode titled Halloween Week. In 7th place is Wild Croc territory. Does watching good-looking people wrangle fierce crocodiles tickle your fancy? If so, I've got just the show for you. Netflix's new Australian reality series, Wild Croc Territory, has become an instant hit for the streaming platform, and like a hungry croc, the series is now crawling its way up the Netflix top 10 list. Professional outback wrangler Matt Wright and his team are tasked with relocating some of the fiercest crocs to call Australia's wilderness home. In one episode, Matt and his crew relocate a big croc named Beef Cheeks, who had been eating a farmer's cattle, to Kaya facing her fears over a giant snake. Fans are dying to know if Netflix will greenlight a second season of Wild Croc Territory, but at the time of this recording, we are still waiting waiting for an official announcement. Stay tuned and don't go away as we make our way up the list of Netflix's top 10 shows for October of 2022. Next, do you like to play games? If so, you need to check out Netflix's The Mole. Coming in at number 6 is the Netflix series The Mole. Netflix has rebooted the competition series, which originally premiered back in 2001 on ABC. Anderson Cooper, Ahmad Rashad, and John Kelly hosted throughout the series' 7-year run, and now Alex Wagner hosts the Netflix reboot. The Mole follows a group of contestants who complete various physical and mental challenges to win cash prizes. The only problem is, one of them is a mole planted by producers and tasked with sabotaging the missions and not getting caught by the other competitors. The missions always feature twists where contestants can add more money to their collective prize pot or risk losing it all for the group. After each mission, contestants must take a quiz to see how much they know about the mole, and the person with the most wrong answers is quickly eliminated. If you haven't already, check out The Mole. Moving on now to 5th place is the hit Netflix series The Blacklist. After 9 seasons, The Blacklist continues to be a crime thriller hit. A new enemy is targeting Raymond "Red" Reddington, played by James Spader, and 2 agents are leaving the task force. As you can imagine, fan expectations are high for Season 10. In The Blacklist Season 9, it's revealed that Marvin Gerard, Red's trusted advisor, played by Fisher Stevens, is responsible for Liz's tragic death. Returning to the series from Season 1 is Wu Jing, played by Chin Han, who crosses paths with Marvin in prison. Marvin informs Wu Jing that he has been imprisoned because of Red and gives Wu Jing a list of other blacklisters Red has helped the FBI put away. Up next, which Netflix series recently climbed to 4th place? The Midnight Club. The Midnight Club premiered on Netflix on October 7, 2022, and is an American horror mystery thriller series created by Mike Flanagan and Leah Fong. Flanagan serves as the showrunner and executive producer alongside Trevor Macy. The series was adapted from the 1994 novel of the same name by Christopher Pike and centers around 8 hospice patients who meet up each midnight to tell sinister stories. It stars Iman Benson, Adia, Igby Rigney, Ruth Codd, Aya Furukawa, Anara Shepard, William Chris Sumter, and Sarian Sepkoda as the patients. Actors Heather Langenkamp, Zach Guilford, Matt Beadle, and Samantha Sloyan have recurring roles. Coming in at number 3 is the hit Netflix series The Sinner. The Sinner is an American police procedural series developed by Derek Simmons and named after Petra Hamusfar's 1999 novel, which the first season is based on. Film star Bill Pullman stars as a police detective who investigates crimes committed by unlikely culprits and tries to uncover their motives. Pullman appears in every season, and the rest of the cast changes for each season's story. Finally, what are the top 2 best TV shows streaming on Netflix for October 2022? Coming in at number 2 is the hit series Dahmer the Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. A word of caution, this based on a true story Netflix series is extremely disturbing. I really can't stress that enough. The series takes you deep into Jeffrey Dahmer's twisted vortex and the horrors that transpired in Apartment 213. It's one of the hottest series to ever stream on Netflix. Totally worth binging, but as I said, watch at your own risk. Moving on to the number 1 TV show on Netflix at the time of this recording, The Watcher. Starring Naomi Watts, Bobby Cannavale, and Mia Farrow, The Watcher is a true story that centers around a married couple moving into their dream home. Once there, they are threatened by terrifying letters from a stalker, signed The Watcher. Like Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, The Watcher is addictive and really disturbing. If you haven't already, binge these shows. That's a wrap for today's video. Thank you for watching.